I welcome everyone to my presentation about software professional information needs in continuous integration and delivery. I am Azim Ahmed, presenting this research paper and presenting today. And this work is done with Ulla Liefler. Let me take this laser pointer. Ulla Liefler and Kirsten Salder, who are also my supervisor. And I think I forgot to mention that I am a PhD student in year 4. And we are presenting this paper. I'm presenting this paper today in Symposium on Applied Computing Virtual Conference. Let's start. The agenda would be, we'll talk about introduction and problem domain, that why this research is interested. We'll talk about the proposed solution that we try to propose in this paper. We'll also talk about research outcome, that what are the outcomes of this study? Research method, how did we conduct this study? And results, some discussion that we raise in the paper. Implication, and that's, I think I usually try to add that what are the implications of our research for researchers and for practitioners? So who can use our research and proceed further? And then we'll talk about conclusion and limitation and future work in this paper. Introduction and problem domain. So I think we all are aware that continuous integration and delivery contains many activities, many developers and submitting code, and then the software is being built, and then you are compiling it, and then you are testing it, and then you are releasing it. And then many activities is going on in the continuous integration and delivery pipeline. Many, maybe depending on the small organization to medium to large, from 5 people to 100 people, they are submitting their changes, and then there is automation of continuous integration and delivery. But while developers are doing the coding or testers are writing a test case, practitioners, including developer, tester, project manager, test architect, they seek additional information to perform the task at hand. Maybe in order to implement the feature, they need to know to what change request this feature should be implemented, or to what bug we are making these changes. Similar to the project managers, if they want to release a product, they want to see, do they have enough confidence to release a product, or has all the test cases have been run? So developers need their own information before they do the actual task. Tester requires some additional information before they do their own task, and same project manager require extra information before they do their task. Unfortunately, what we learned that it takes considerable amount of time. I'm trying to see if I can use the pen here. Yeah, it takes considerable amount of time because you need to search information. Maybe you need to parse the log. Maybe you need to talk to a friend. You need to call someone. You need to send email. You need to open the log file. You need to go to another software. So it takes considerable amount of time. And we believe that it might distract you from doing a productive work because you left the task at hand and now you're seeking those information or from other resources that will take time and you will not work on the task at hand. And this thing can get worse because we know that data produced in CI/CD is too much. I mean, many people are submitting code, many software are being compiled, you have a feature branch, you have a stable branch, you have a release branch. So much data have been produced and in CI/CD, and input sources are numerous. You have Jira for bug handling, you have GitHub, GitLab, you have Jenkins, and then you have other tools that you use. So the information is scattered. So it's mean that you need more effort to seek the information. And that's the problem domain, that developers spending too much time to find this information from the data that have been produced by the CI and CID pipeline. So the proposed solution, it's a first step, and it's a series of activities that we are doing in this project, and we call it Project 18. So what are the information needs of practitioners? So idea is that let's first identify the needs. what information do they look for? Because once we know that the developer usually or frequently look for this information, we can come up with a solution. Okay, maybe create a tool, or maybe you don't need a tool at all. You can get this information from here. So the proposed solution is to list the needs they have in continuous integration and deadline. And this is the area where people have explored needs in development, needs in testing, or needs in exception handling. But we are trying to focus on continuous integration delivery, which is a bit broader aspect. The idea here, what we are trying to do is we identifying and listing, cataloging the need. We are also measuring or trying to find out how important these needs are. Because imagine you have 25,000 people working on different projects. Of course, they have their own needs. You have to prioritize them. So maybe something that is more important should be done first. And then frequency, how frequent do you seek that information? Do you do it every day, every half an hour, or maybe you do it in 6 months when you are releasing a product? So we need to find a frequency of that information need, importance of that information need, and effort. How much effort at this moment practitioners that are under investigation in this study are putting. So we measured effort in two ways, in the time, and we asked them in a Likert scale whether it is too easy or too hard. But we tried to measure these three properties of each information need. And we believe that identifying this information need help us better understand what tools they need, how to perform the processes, how to change the processes, how to look into the practices, and then it will help us. It's a step one before we proceed further towards answering those needs. The research outcome of this study is we identified practitioners' information needs in continuous integration and development. We investigated the extent, for example, complete, partial, or none, to which the availability of the tools supported the identified need. So all our participants, we asked them, you have these needs, okay, how do you address them? Do you address them manually? Do you have in-house tool? Do you use external tool? Do you call friends? Do you send emails? So we tried to capture the picture from 5 different companies, which I'll tell you what are those 5 companies, to ask, to look, how do they address those information needs? And the third outcome we have that we investigated the following question, like I mentioned in the previous slide, how many stakeholders connected to which needs? Maybe some needs are coming from developers, testers, project manager, and there are needs that are only coming by compliance authority, maybe the legal need. No one else use it. Maybe after 2 years, some authority come and check that. So we also captured that sort of thing in this outcome, in this research paper. How frequently these information needs were sought, we also tried to capture that. How long does it take? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 20 minutes? And how much effort is devoted? We did not have a metric to measure the effort. It's just a Likert scale. Is it easy, it's hard, or it's a very hard? So that was the research outcome of this study. These are the 3 research questions that we answer in this. And it's similar to the outcomes. What are the practitioners' needs? How software tools are utilized in industry? And do practitioners assign priority, importance, frequency, and effort to the information needs? So these are the 3 questions that we try to answer. We did a multiple case study. We mostly did interviews. The best thing would have been observation, which I will mention in limitation and the future work, where we sit with them, we see how they're looking for information. But due to some limitation, we conducted individual interview. And the 5 companies we have denoted by A, B, C, D, E, F is a network equipment. They have 25,000 employees, surveillance equipment, water equipment, medical equipment, and software. Due to NDA with the companies, we are being careful to release information about them, but this represents what type of business they are in and what integration level they have, automation, maturity, how much automation they have in continuous integration, because our focus of the research is on continuous integration delivery. So it's important they have achieved some sort of automation. So we can see high and medium. So all the companies are ranging between medium to high. These are the 13 participants we have interviewed, and they have worked in a different designation with a 10 to 12 year experience. They have been CI architect, which means they develop the pipeline, they provide visualization solution, they answer to the others people need, and they have also been developers. And how did we get these needs? A moment for analysis. That the original text, when we were interviewing, we were recording it, and then we did the coding. If you want to know more about, you can refer, please go back, check the paper where we have explained everything. So P6 said want to see confidence level of X. P8 said, what is the confidence level of this test suite? P3 said confidence in test suite. So the information need we extracted is how much confidence do we have in a specific test suite? And then we have categories, and we put this information need in the category of the confidence. So that's how we extracted this information. So let's coming back to the results, that we have identified 27 information needs that are unique from 5 different companies and 30. I'm sure there are many, but of course we have to start somewhere. We had a limited time. So I think we captured these 27 information needs. And we also captured not only information needs, how important are they from 1 to 5 Likert scale, where 1 is good to know and 5 is very important. We try to capture how frequently do they look for this information. Is it every day, every week, every month? How much effort do they put, and how much time at this moment they take to answer that question or address that information need. We put those information needs into 5 different categories, like I explained in the previous slide, how we extracted the categories. So these 5 categories are testing, code and commit, confidence level in a test suite, in a release, in a test case, in a code changes, bug, and artifacts. And we also tried to capture, and we did capture, what strategies do they use, the practitioners? What tools do they use to address those needs? And what are the stakeholders that are connected to those information needs? There are 27 needs, and I don't think so it would be productive or wise to go all through it one by one. But one of my supervisor, Christian Sandel, gave me this idea on the journey during the train that take top 5 information needs. And I think, yeah, that's a very good idea. So I'm presenting here the top 5 information needs in terms of importance, where 5 is very important and 1 is good to know. Frequency, where 5 is very frequently, and 1 is seldom or sometimes. Effort, where it's very much effort, and time in minutes, 15 to 20. So the 5, and these are the labels denoting the categories. CC stands for code and commit. C stands for confidence. B stands for bug. C stands for confidence and confidence. So the 5 top need from 5 different companies, 13 different participants is, first one, how much confidence do we have in a release to deploy to customer? And they said that 4.8. It's very important need. 4.9, very frequently they look into it. Effort is very high, which means it's very hard. And at this moment, approximately it takes them 15 to 20 minutes to answer that, to address that need. The second second need is the given feature ready to release to customer? So whatever the feature, it could be the new feature, or it could be the feature that's emerging because of bug or a change request, is ready to release the customer. Is the bug fix ready to release the customer? How much confidence do we have in the test suite? How much confidence do we have in a standalone project? So if we see that these top 5 needs mostly related with the release, And that is a backbone of a continuous integration and delivery, because you release more often in continuous integration and delivery. Or it's about release, and then about confidence. Should we release or not? So these are the top 5 needs. But before, I'll give you a few seconds to read these 27 needs that we have. And they are sorted in a descending order by importance, where very important to 1, which means good to know. So I think these, if I say between 1 to 2, these 4 were not that important in the opinion of the practitioners. So if you want to read more about these needs, I have explained them, that what do these information needs mean for practitioners in the paper. You can have a look on the paper, where we have approximately 3 pages of text about each of these needs. But we can clearly see one thing, that 20 minutes, all of the needs take 20. Imagine that if you're working on something and then you have to set aside 15 to 20 minutes to get the answer, and then you come back. And this is not the real representation. We have seen that sometimes it takes 30 minutes, but it takes a lot of time. And they are all needs are frequently sought and important. These were the information need. Now coming back to what stakeholder do they, what stakeholder are related to these needs? What tools do they use? Do they have automation? Do they have in-house tool? Do they use external tool, manual inspection? So we try to see in-house tool, if the company has developed in-house visualization tool that can address those needs. Do they use external tool, for example, Jenkins, Guret, GitHub, Jira, or do they do manual inspection? And when it comes to the manual inspection, it's mean sending email, calling a friend, calling an ad hoc meeting where you choose different people and then you talk about it. So looking at it, fortunately or unfortunately, we noticed that only company A have dedicated resources to have an in-house tool. And even if they have dedicated proper resources to in-house tool, out of 27, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, only 10 needs can be addressed directly by that tool. So we can see that, and here the compliance authority, when I said that they are also connected to some of the needs. So if you look at here, that most of the needs were done by manual inspection by many of the companies. So that's the true a picture that we capture from the industry and investigation. Now coming back to the discussion section of identifying need is very important, because when you sit down and you say, okay, what do we need? You don't only get the information need, but you also get some concept clarification. What does confidence mean? Do we need a human intervention because it's a gut feeling? Or do we need a metric? Can metric be enough to define a confidence? We don't know. We need to talk about it. Can number represent a confidence? Okay, 100 test cases are passing, that's the confidence of him, which is a very weak confidence as shared by the many practitioners. So the idea of sitting down and identifying the need brings more value of clarification of concept. What constitutes as acceptable confidence? Can we calculate confidence through automation, or do we need a human intervention? What information is required to achieve acceptable level? We also observed that 6 information needs were marked as most important, frequently sought, and time-consuming to handle. Unfortunately, 4 out of 6 information needs can only be addressed through manual inspection of the output. So we can dig deep into it. We can see that there are many challenges associated with the tool selection. Each practitioner has a specific information need based on its designation. And it's not easy to build a tool. And you can see that company A have put some resources and they can only address 6 or 7 needs. In addition to that, each tool or each input or each external tool have a specific input, output, format. You can't just bring all those different tools together and work with them. That's another challenge. First, define the need, and then how to address this is another challenge. CI focused on delivering the code changes to customer as fast as possible. Practitioners are spending significant time manually collecting scattered information about software. So this is another thing that we discussed in the paper. The implication is that practitioners, people in industry, our research provide a context for tool development. So if they are developing an in-house tool for visualization, they look at into these needs and can get some information. And also by cataloging the information needs, they can avoid redundancy. So if the information is being sought in 10 different teams every day, they don't need to repeat those 20 minutes every time. They can provide some pointers and indications. For researcher, our work, we believe that they can see what it means for different practitioners. They can conduct further study to capture what practitioners say and what they need. Conclusion, the data produced in CID can provide significant insights such as team performance, possible bottlenecks, and area of improvement. Providing an efficient and effective tool to visualize this data is a challenge. One last thing that I have seen some during criticism during my discussion with my team, that they say that building an in-house tool is not the right conclusion. Although we write that in our paper, but we are exploring it more in details. Limitation in future work. We want to do observation where we sit with the tester and the people and see what exactly they are doing and then find the challenges in the development of the tool and what do they recommend to people. That's all. Thank you. Thank you very much for listening. And I think I will take question now, but I will stop recording, Christian, so that we can upload it, please.